Unsyndicated presents What the Puck with Sean Baligian.
Like the beginning of the show because you and I are both looking at our phones as we put this stuff out. I can't wait to talk about Panarin because you know my thoughts on Panarin. I think you feel the exact same way about Panarin as I do.
100%.
Okay,
as soon as you said it, it made me feel warm inside.
So did you like, can I ask you something? Did you like did you like the freeze? Did you like the freeze before the Olympics? Are you down with that? Do you like the freeze before the Olympics?
Yeah, I mean, it does do a number to the schedule in the season, and it does make a difference, but I've got no problem with it. You freeze. You can't screw with guys' lives. You know what I'm saying? Especially, as you said, a lot of guys heading out on vacation because not everyone's going over there. They're going to be spending some time with the family. Get it done before it or get it done after it. Let the guys be. I think that's a great move.
Yeah, and you know what? Then I think it'll be fun once the Olympics are done. I think it'll be fun to have like that I don't know, mad rush to April 6th.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a barbecue rush.
Yeah, I no, really, that's the funniest thing, Mike. I'm serious. It's going to be like, okay, let's see where things stand and who's going to be. What's up, Hubie? What's up, Tom? Who's going to be a real player? That's what I'm looking for.
And we just got done having a conversation. I know we're going to talk about it with the Atlantic Division. Who's it going to be? I mean, you talk about a rush. It could be everybody in the Atlantic Division is buyers, not selling, because everybody's got a chance to make the playoffs. That's going to be ridiculous.
You know what the funny thing about it, Mike, is like I've gotten to the point. I don't know if you have. I'm convinced that everybody's chasing Tampa right now. I really am. I think that Tampa's going to end up winning that division. Obviously, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong about that, but Mike, I think that's the way it's going to play itself out.
The only thing I can see happening, Sean, and it's been happening to them all year, is injuries. Point, Hedman, everybody going down. But what you have to like if you're a Lightning fan is they're going to get that Florida Panther piss and vinegar at the fucking trade deadline, whether anyone likes it or not, and they're going to go for it. And Cooper's just making himself out to be one hell of a coach.
Yep. And it's funny. Hold on a second. It's always funny when you're doing a show and mom calls you like right at the top of the show.
Hi, Mom.
Yeah. Pat will say
hi.
We
are early today.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Mike, one look at the standings. The one thing that, by the end of the night, the Wings could be in the wild card spot. I think, are people aware of that? If Buffalo knocks off Pittsburgh tonight, going into the break, the Olympic break, it will be Tampa in first. It will be Montreal and Buffalo tied for second, but Buffalo would have the tiebreaker because they have more regulation wins. And that would leave Detroit and Boston as wild card 1 and wild card 2.
Yeah, and a win by Ottawa gets them a little bit closer, and it looks like the two guys talking.
You know that Columbus is never going to lose again.
No way. Bonus all the way. Coach of the year.
That's, you know what, I've heard a lot of people say Lindy Ruff, and I can't argue with that. I would still throw Patrick Waugh's name out there. I really would. What he's doing for the Islanders, even though I think it's only a matter of time before Columbus chase them down and pass them. I really truly do. Remember Columbus almost did it last year, Mike. Remember they got scorching hot at the end, and much to my chagrin, as they were chasing a certain team that wears the blue, blanc, et rouge. But it was a scenario where they nearly got in last year too. With some late season heroics.
And that was probably the undoing of the coach, right? The coach gets them there last year, but unfortunately now everybody knows what you can do and where you probably should be and where you should be headed. And when they weren't, they made that change. So Columbus is really just catching up to themselves.
Tom said Wings can't beat Utah or Zona ever. I remember that. Here come Maple Leaf. Buffalo looking good. Happy for them. Mike, we picked up on that about a month ago. And I'm going to say this, and we both know a Sabre fan. Did you know that? We both know a Sabre fan. I didn't even know if you know that he's a Sabre fan. Our buddy from up north, Jimmy Young, is a huge Sabre fan. And I called him, Mike, they're fun to watch. I'm not BSing. They're fun to watch, and I think that's pretty cool. And I can't help but think back to memories of the Adams division. You know me, I love the Adams division and the old odd, and of course seeing the Montreal Colorado game last week just did my heart so good. Mike, to have both the dark jerseys on the ice at the same time, that was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. I mean, because, if the Habs wore the red, that means the Nords wore the white. And when the Nords wore the white, that means the Habs wore the red. To have them both wearing their dark jerseys last Saturday night was unflippin' believable.
Yeah, it was a thing of beauty. And if we can get back to those Adam divisions battles, I mean, let's do it. And Tage Thompson is him. That guy has taken the next step to superstar status. I love watching that guy.
Yeah. So I got it. So I forgot to do the Twitter thing. You were good. I'm just going to say, and the Panarin thing.
Woof.
Can you, so let's start from a Red Wings standpoint first. Okay. After this good in-season tournament, the Wings better be firing on all 8 cylinders or it could go down in flames. The chase is on. And once again, like last year, one thing that we talked about down the stretch, Mike, was the difficult slate. And they had the hardest schedule last year. For people out there that don't remember, after the 4 nations and Mike, it caught up to them. And right now they have the 4th hardest schedule. For what it's worth, Pittsburgh, Boston, Calgary, Detroit, Columbus Blue Jackets. Those are your most difficult things. Most difficult schedules.
And the good news would be, if you want to take a look at the win against Colorado, right? You could see what they could be defensively. The offense still scares the hell out of me. I don't think the offense is going to hold up against that schedule. Defensively, you can do it. Gibson starting to show those cracks again, and that offense is going to be it. They need to get a top 3 guy. They need to get somebody, and they also need to shore up that defense, or they are going to crack against this tough schedule. And they have to hope Larkin comes back from the Olympics healthy, which he did not come back from the 4 nations healthy.
Let me try to get to some of these comments, and then I really want to get into the Panarin thing, because I'm not joking. Mike, I was mystified that so many people were clamoring for Panarin. I was mystified. Ron, hi Ron. The Wings' March collapse is inevitable. Piss poor play on the blue line, lack of skating. We'll get into it. I promise you. We'll get into it in a second. We'll start with Panarin and the mystery place that he went to. I still can't figure it out for the life of me. More on that in a second. Our buddy Ted in Saginaw. Ted, we're going to be up in Saginaw in about a month and a half. There's an alumni game going to be played at Dow Event Center, and I'm going to be calling the game up there. So, Mike, hopefully you can make it up with us this year. Wings and Hawks, it's April 11th. Just a heads up there.
Every time you say that, I think I have it.
Yeah.
I was going to say, every time you say it, I think I put it on my schedule so I can hop in your truck and drive with you.
All right. So let's throw this out there, Mike. A lot of people were clamoring for Panarin, and I don't think that he would be a real good fit here. I've said it for the last few years. I think especially a couple of years ago. What do you have, $120 or something? And I went down. It was a Sunday afternoon, and I watched that guy in overtime. And do you remember I texted you and I said, I hope you can see on TV what I'm seeing. Why on earth would you even put that guy out on the ice on a 3-on-3 situation? Like you are begging for an odd man rush going the other way. Because he is one dimensional. He's thinking of half the ice. That's the way it is. And, it was a scenario, Mike, where I think we all know he's sharp and he's soft. I was talking to Darren McCarty about this. Now, when you say you need a guy, you say it or anybody else says it. Do you know what guy I would really like to see here? And you can laugh at me. You can laugh at me all you want. I think a guy like Little Bert would be a fantastic fit here. And I mean that in all sincerity. And I'll tell you why. I think, number one, this is a guy that gives them the sandpaper that they need. They're still pushed around too much, and there's a little tenacity there. And number two, I know it's a smaller sample size at this National Hockey League level, but this is a guy that has upped his game at playoff time compared to Panarin, whose game goes like that at playoff time. And, that's the type of guy that I need. And I know what somebody's saying. You're saying, what are you nuts? You'd rather have a guy like that in the playoff than a guy like Panarin, a guy that puts up 120 points. And I say, without a shadow of doubt, yes, I would. Yes, 100% I would. Yes, and yes.
Yeah, it's tough to find those guys like a Tkachuk that has the sandpaper and the offense, or a Bennett. So you've got to kind of go one way or the other. And a good fit we're talking about fits, right? A good fit for the Wings right now with what they need would be someone like Bertuzzi to bring that. We saw it while he was here, and he's only gotten better. Now, that's just kind of the guys we're looking for. Obviously, he's not going to be coming here, but that is 100% what would fit for Detroit.
I would love it. Now your Kings, I love your Kings. What has been the bugaboo for the Kings for over a decade? Legitimately, since they last won the Stanley Cup, they haven't been able to get out of the first round. Okay. You brought in a guy, and you can fact check me. As I said, his regular season numbers are here, and you watch his playoff numbers go like that. Okay. When the ice gets tight, when the games get tight, again, you guys fact check me. Look at his numbers. Look at the drop off from what he does in the regular season to what he does in the playoff. Mike, I was kind of mystified at Ken Holland making that move. And I'll throw this out there. I think people that watch the OHL, I know Ted in Saginaw does that, and perhaps some of our friends in Windsor do this. I like that Green Tree kid. I like Liam Greentree from the Spits. I think he's got a nice future ahead of him, right? So I don't know, Mike. I guess the same dynamic that I would say in regards to why I wouldn't want Panarin here, I think that exists in LA. I mean, you want a guy that's going to help get you over the hump. Is Panarin that guy?
Well, if you look at it one way, what's going to mystify me is, well, the whole trade mystified me because it was all about he wasn't going anywhere without that extension, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he goes to LA, but with no extension. I'm not surprised LA does it because LA's power play, and I know you watch a shit ton of hockey, so is one of the worst things I've ever seen. Their power play is awful. He is a fit for that right now. What they need now,
that's
this
a good
second.
Point. Yes.
Now they are talking about extending him at about, I think, $12 million for 3 to 4 years. That like that. No, for your moment right now, go for it because you play gritty, grindy playoff hockey. You need some help on the special teams. Panarin can do that. He's your Patrick Kane, right? That's what they. But if they extend him, I might have to cut off the Kings. I might have to cut them off.
That's great. Hold on. This is a good one. Hubie, I like this. Here we are talking up the Atlantic, and he said, thoughts on Florida. Watching them in the last few games, I don't think they have enough left in the tank to make a run. Let's see how it looks with a few weeks off to rest. A lot of work to get back in it. Sens must be staying out of Hull with their run. Yes, I think they're staying out of Hull. They're staying in. They're staying on their side of the province. How is that? Mike, there is something wrong with Florida. And I think we've gotten to a point in the season, all right? So when the league comes back, it's going to be late February. And I want to give as much respect to them as I can based on what they've done the last couple of years. But there comes a point in time where, number one, you got so far behind. And number two, I'm not sure you can just snap your fingers and everything's going to get right with this team. All right. So right now, when you take a look at the standings, I mean, let's be honest, they are well behind. Okay. They legitimately are. They're well behind. They're 8 points behind the Bruins. They do have a game in hand. That's a pretty substantial mark. And I'm going to say it again. I hate it with everything inside of me. How Sweeney's doing it again with that club, I don't get it. We talked about it at the early portion of the year, and then they cooled off for a while, and then they're right back at it. I don't get it. It's smoke and mirrors right now in Boston.
Yeah, you're right with Boston. With Florida, I believe they're really going to find out how much missing Barkov is. That is just, you can't take your top offense, defense kind of guy out of there. But what really summed it up for me is if you saw Kachuk's interview after the last game in the locker room, Sean, where he looked right in the camera and he said, "We're in trouble." He said he loved seeing, and this is what's scary about it. I love seeing guys that normally don't get ice time. I love watching guys grow as hockey players because they're put in positions they probably shouldn't be put in right now, but that's where we're at. He looked right at the camera. He goes, "We're in a world of hurt. We're in trouble." Yeah, and that speaks volumes from a guy like that. But he is also right. They're gaining a lot of experience with guys that wouldn't necessarily get it. That just is going to make them deeper if they do end up making that run.
This is a good one. Chris asked thoughts on Patrick Laine. Mike, I'm sure you saw it. There's a lot of rumors that the Habs would be willing to deal Laine. I think the experiment, while it was worth it, it didn't work. And there's no reason to bring him back into the mix. There really isn't. I'm being sincere. The way that they're playing, there's no reason to bring him back in the mix. There's a rumor out there that they're talking to Edmonton, and Mangiapane would be the guy that they bring in. At this point in time, yeah, Mike, find a good place. I think Mangiapane's a guy that could fit in there, but find a place for him to go. I don't think this guy, it's ever going to click for him. I just don't. I don't. He at this point in his career, he is what he is. He's gonna have flashes. He's gonna make you go ooh and ah. I love that Nellie's there. He's going to make you go ooh and ah, but then he's going to disappear for 2 weeks, and then he's going to remind you that he's Patrick Laine and make you get all excited again. This is what he is, and in my opinion, let that be somebody else's problem.
Yeah. The good news, Sean, is they traded Panarin. I believe they can trade Laine. He's very much like that. If they can trade Panarin and get a top end prospect, the Habs can get rid of Laine. There will be a suitor that needs someone, again, to stand there on the playoff, take his one-timers, and do his stuff and show you every so often why he is who he is.
Yeah. By the way, isn't it great to see Gallagher reborn? He had 3 points. That made me so happy. It made me so happy. I love that guy. I really do. Green Tree is very similar to Seneke. That's a good comp. Double Stanley Cup hangover hurting Florida big time. I agree with you. You get to a point in time. Who was I talking to about this the other day? Gosh damn it. Mike, do you remember the 99 Red Wings where they against Colorado after the back-to-back cups, they win the first 2 games against Colorado and then got absolutely smoked the last 4 games. And back then, I don't think anybody would admit it, and I'm not gonna mention any names, but guys on that team point blank told me we were gassed. You have to remember, we went to the finals in 95. We went to the conference finals in 96. We went to the finals in 97. Then the whole tragedy that was the limo accident. Then back to the finals again. Like at some point in time, you hit the wall. And I said it back then. And then I had a couple guys tell me after the fact, I think collectively they just hit the wall in that second round series against Colorado. I really do. Could Florida be hitting that wall with all the hockey that they've played the last few years? You might, Travis. You might.
Yeah, and you take the health into consideration with it too. Your body, the way they play. We've talked about this last year, whether they would be able to make that run again. The way they play hockey, your body just breaks down. They get such little rest as compared to everybody else. 3 straight cup finals, right? And the way they play, it's tough on the body.
For the record, I think that the Wings have put enough space between themselves and the non-playoff teams at this point in time. Mike, I know everybody and their brother's talking about the March collapse. And look, the recipe's there. Last year, the one thing, and Mike, I give you credit. You were the first guy to say it. You said, hey, do yourself a favor and look at these schedules down the stretch. Like, look at the Wings schedule. And you told me, because I'm a tortured soul, you said, look at the Habs schedule. And the Habs were able to take advantage of that. Well, this year, it's similar in the regard that while not the most difficult schedule, the Red Wings, as mentioned earlier, have the 4th toughest schedule. If you're asking me, do I think a March collapse is going to happen again? Yes, but not in the way that you think. I think that there's enough space between themselves and the non-playoff teams, Mike. Call me crazy. I don't know if you agree with this. I have a feeling that they stick into the playoff. They might be the 7 seed. They might be the 8 seed. But if I were a betting man here on February 5th, I think that the Red Wings have created enough space between themselves and that next level to stay in the playoffs. We'll get to the concerns in a second, but is that the way you're feeling right now?
Agree. Not only that, but over this 10-game period going into the freeze, the shutdown for the Olympics, I think they showed that you don't want to play them. You don't want to play them in the playoffs. Like I'm not saying this is a great team, but you have to they can play some good hockey. They are going to get some guys that are going to make it even more difficult to play against. I do believe at the trade deadline. So will there be a March collapse to answer that question? I do believe. I just think people are, like you said, Florida and these guys were so far behind. It's going to take so much to catch up that I can see them being a wild card team. Absolutely.
Hey, listen, I'll repeat it again. I mean, in case you don't know, if the Sabres go knock off Pittsburgh tonight, they are a wild card team heading into the break. I mean, that's the reality of it. Both the Habs and the Sabres would have the bump, and that's the way that it is. The Sabres would be the 2 seed in the Atlantic. Go figure. The Habs would be the 3 seed. So that could be interesting. Mike, the John Gibson thing is amazing to me. And I am so serious when I say this. It is amazing to me. And at some point in time, I'm a firm believer in this, okay? I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's a Red Wing, a Hab, Toronto. I'm a firm believer in the whole water finds its level thing. Eventually, it's going to come back down. Here's a guy, the knock on this guy has been he wears down, he tires, he may not be a quote-unquote number 1, all right? And the Red Wings have been riding him, as they should, mind you, as a number 1. Eventually, that's going to come back to water finding its level. And a guy that, let's face it, lost that opportunity when he was in Anaheim.
Yeah, and if you look at, you got to figure out where his level is, right? Do I think he's as bad as he started the season off with, where he was one of the worst goalies in the league? No. Do I believe he's the number 1 goalie in the league, which he has been over, the last 18, 19 games that he has played? He's somewhere a little bit in the middle. The only thing I think he has going for him is one of the knocks I read about when he came over was that when he was with Anaheim, at times he would lose interest, especially if he gave up a goal or two because he knew his team could not come back from that deficit. So he just kind of lost interest in the game. I think being on this team and them doing well, he's going to stay interested. You just have to remember, we're talking about the toughest schedule coming up, and you do not have the number 1 goalie in the league. You just don't.
Nope.
You've got about a middle of the roader in there, which is going to be a solid veteran. So that's going to knock you back a little bit too. So I'm right on board with you.
You know what's interesting? A couple things to bring up. Somebody brought up to me in a DM a couple days ago, Mike, the last time you and I did this a couple weeks ago, we asked the question, is it possible to peak too soon? And Colorado then proceeded to lose to Ottawa, looked like absolute shit against the Habs. I mean, the Habs bombed them, bounced back against the Wings, and then were shut out by the Wings at home. Okay. All of a sudden, Mike, Colorado looks very, 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 very mortal. And dare I say, they did peak too early. Our buddy Johnny Stack said Stanley Cup prediction. Boy, I haven't even thought about it. I'll do it. Mike, I'm not going against Tampa. I think Tampa's going to make another run. I do. I think Tampa's going to, much to the chagrin of everybody. Here I was just bagging on Colorado, and I'm still going to go with them. They're the best in the West, right? They're the best in the West.
They are. I don't think they're 5 million miles ahead of the West. I think they are on top, and then there's a lot of nice teams below them. But what go ahead. Do you want to tell the people what my picks are?
I'm not counting out Vegas still. I'm seriously not. I'm not counting out Vegas. No, who was it, Mike? Who'd you go with?
Montreal and Vegas.
You're doing it again, aren't you?
I got a lot of money riding on that. Like a very nice chunk will come my way if that's the exact matchup. The Vegas is hurt. Vegas has got to get healthy. I think they just went like 1-5 to finish before the break here. But I think that getting Anderson solidifies that defense again, which was already strong. Their offense is going to be good. I like what Marner brings to that team. Look, I know you don't want to hear it, Sean. I know you plug your ears and you close your eyes when I say this. You watch Montreal day in and day out. And here's the thing. 2 things that they need to shore up. I'm not going to say they're a sure thing. They need to shore up their defense, and they need to protect their goalies, Sean. They're not going anywhere with their goalies. They need to protect their goalies. They need to shore up their own zone, and they need to shore up the third period. And we've seen St. Louis do this before, where Montreal has struggled defensively. Then all of a sudden, bam, it's there. They know how to play hockey. He can get to this team again. And that I'm not wavering. Montreal and Vegas. This isn't a bit.
There's such a bigger difference with a healthy Caden Gooley. It's insane. It really is. Johnny Stack says Colorado needs a goalie. While Scott Wedgwood has kind of dropped off the torrid pace that he was on, it's not like he's getting lit up. Does that make sense? Like his numbers are still good. Even in this month where as a team, they all of a sudden they look mortal. And of course I'm saying that because I'm biased because I know the kid, they covered his games when he was in junior, but I just had to refresh myself. I just looked it up during the break, and Wedgwood, for what it's worth, in this swoon by Avs, 286 goals against. The save percentage is a little lacking at 888, but those aren't disastrous numbers. But to his point, is a completely unheralded, unproven Scott Wedgwood, the guy that's going to say, come on, boys, jump on my back and go the other way. I can understand the uncertainty of somebody saying with that.
Yeah, and here's the thing. When you look at peaking too soon, the lull that they're in, at some point, they needed to get a hold of themselves and say, this isn't shinny. This isn't scrimmage hockey. We're heading into the playoffs with one of the, if not the best team in the NHL. We need to start playing playoff hockey. So they've got to change their style at some point, or they will be one of those teams, these high-flying teams that come into the playoffs and get knocked off real quick. They need to protect those goalies too. They just have the offensive power to outscore people most of the time.
Couple of guys said Carolina. I'll always have a soft spot in my heart for Carolina. But as we were just talking about, as we were just talking about Wedgwood, I think Mr. Bussey kind of remembered that he's indeed Brandon Bussey. If so, I brought up Wedgwood's numbers. Take a look at Bussey's numbers. They've plummeted back to earth. His save percentage, now it's only a couple, he's got an 868 save percentage for the month. 868. His save percentage has gone like this since that start. I'm going to say the same thing that I said about Carolina 10 years ago. That the inability for them to develop a goaltender is really hurting a lot of good things that are going on with that franchise, starting with their coach.
Well, absolutely. And here's the thing is she's just showing her butt. I don't understand what this dog is doing. Hey, guys, look, my butt. That he happens to be on a team that protects their goalie very well. And you're still letting, I think they give up like 5 shots a game. I mean, it's something stupid. They do a very good job of doing that. But again, it's their bugaboo every year. Every year, Sean. We talk about this every year.
Current leader for the Art Ross, McDavid, McKinnon, or Celebrini. It's funny that you brought that up because you know what I wanted to bring up to you, Mike?
Yes.
I wanted to bring up some of the trophies, okay? The Norris Trophy in particular, because I had a conversation with somebody today. Give Mo Seider his flowers, right? Is it safe to say we've watched in real time his game go up? That's safe to say, right? Like Mo Seider has really blossomed this year, okay? He's not even in the top 5, according to the odds. Mike, I know you love odds. Makar and Werenski are 1A and 1B at minus 115. Quinn Hughes is at minus 3,000. Lane Hudson is at, plus 3,000. Lane Hudson and Evan Bouchard, plus 4,000, and then Mo Seider at plus 7,000. So for what it's worth, that's where it's at.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wrap my head around Werenski. I can't. Cal Makar is the second coming. I mean, that guy, every night, every shift, he's doing something unbelievable. He's not, again, we were just talking about Chad Pietla, the best defenseman in high school hockey, probably the best player in high school hockey. Cal Makar is that guy. But I mean, you said that. I mean, you just let me up. If I can hit some of these Super Bowl props, I'm going to be jumping on Quinn Hughes at 30-1.
I think that most points in the league will be Connor McDavid. I think it'll be Connor McDavid. I'll go with Connor McDavid. Let me look up. There were a couple other ones I wanted to throw at you before we get out of here. Gosh darn it! Hold on just a second. Because I know you love this stuff. I used to bet. You knew me when I used to bet. I don't bet anymore. I just don't. I don't bet anymore.
Well, it's because you can't meet the fat man behind tweenies.
The Hart Trophy. Nathan McKinnon minus 190, Celebrini plus 230, Kucherov plus 650, McDavid at plus 800. Mike, how about that?
So
how do you like that?
I really like that because there's 2 things there. Celebrini is not going to get it. He's not. I love the kid, great player. They're not giving it to him like that. McDavid's problem is he's there every year, Sean. Right. So he has to do something miraculous. Who I like right there, and I take him almost every year, is Kucherov. Kucherov is due. He is due. They owe that man.
He is such a beast. Craig just jumped in. There's a Livonia guy. Missed the first 30 minutes. Wings playoff chances. Objects in the rear are closer than they appear. Agreed. Like Craig, just to reiterate, Buffalo wins tonight, and all of a sudden the Wings find themselves in one of those wild card spots. Now, there's a jumbled mess with Montreal, Buffalo there and everything. With the tough schedule coming up, they've got the 4th toughest schedule. I know a lot of people are saying the March collapse is nigh. Craig, for what it's worth, just to reiterate what both Mike and I said, I think that they'll finish in the 7 or 8 spot. I feel that way, and I'm going to stick to it. Mike, I don't think there's any doubt about this. The Calder Trophy, Matthew Schaefer is minus 1,000. And then Ivan Demidov is at plus 950. Seneke is at plus 1,000. And there's a certain goalie who's well down the list at plus 30,000 that if he keeps playing the way he has the last couple of weeks, although in fairness, Montembeault was really good last night. I need to point that out. I don't know if you saw any of that game. But Dobish certainly at plus 30,000. But I think it's Schaefer versus the field there, right?
Yeah. Something outrageous would have to happen for him not to get it. He's been the story since he got drafted.
Goalies, Sorokin, Vasilevsky, Logan Thompson, minus 130, plus 125, plus 1,200. John Gibson coming in at number 4 at plus 3,000. Who'd have thunk it? Who'd have thunk it?
That's, you know what? If you're going to take John Gibson, you might as well just go right now and donate your money to a good cause.
Cole Caulfield at plus 2,000 for the Rocket Richard Trophy, by the way. I just had to throw that out there just for my own purposes, okay? Coach of the Year, the Jack Adams. John Cooper, the clubhouse leader at plus 140. Lindy Ruff, 180. Bednar, 500. Dan Muse, 1,400. Todd McClellan at 2,200. Huh. Interesting.
I don't know if they ever do. I don't follow it too closely. If they ever take the rock, like you have Bednar in there, and the rest of the rosters, it's not even close. Like, why would he be in? Like, it's kind of like why Andy Reid and Belichick and all those guys never get that award. It goes to someone else. Scotty wasn't winning that award, right?
No. Guys, is Costa going to be 30 years old before he even gets a chance at backup, and where will Augustine fit in? I still believe, even with Costa picking up his play this year, undoubtedly, I still believe that Trey Augustine is the goaltender of the future, and I think that Costa will play the role of Ben Bishop in Tampa. Maybe he gets a year or two, and then he'll try to package that for something and saying, we're trading a guy young enough his career where, maybe he can go be your guy, and Augustine will eventually be the guy. We'll wait and see how that plays out.
Yeah, it's got to be Gibson Costa next year, right? And Augustine comes in. Yeah, it's got to be. I mean, and then you can Gibson can get traded off at the trade deadline to a contender that needs it. Costa comes in, Augustine. Okay, there's got to be a transition in there somewhere. If not, Costa's going to be with somebody else. They got to get rid of the kid.
Yep. All right. I know you got to go. I got to go very quickly. We're doing 2 hockey games on Saturday. Lawrence Tech, D1, D3. Looking forward to it at Old Redford Arena. Mike, God bless you. We'll talk again soon. Thank all you guys as well. We'll see you later. Peace. And now this is where I click end stream and hope that it works right so Mike can go do whatever he has to do.
What the Puck with Sean Baligian. Executive produced by Sean Baligian and Todd Losey. Theme song, incidental music, and related sound effects are from Always Pushing Forward by Elliot Middleton. Engineering, mixing, and graphic design support provided by the Unsyndicated Podcast team. Don't forget to like and subscribe on all your favorite channels. While you're there, be sure to rate and review the podcast. Got something to say to Sean? Call the Unsyndicated hotline at 248-237-3257.